Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Jan Farrington. I am the District 13 president. I have also been teaching this how to write a committee report for the last few years. First of all, I would like to ask you if you do have any cell phone or anything that is going to beep, ring, scream out, could you please put it on silent? Thank you. Okay, first and most important, I just would like, as a show of hands, who has never written a report before? Okay? Good, good, good. Perfect. This is a great class for you then. All right. I'm going to get started immediately. I want you to go to the packet that starts with, this packet is merely a suggestion, and it's designed to help those that need some suggestions or guidance while writing committee reports. I created this as a learning tool and a guide. Okay, it's worked for me. I hope it'll work for you as well. Okay? Most importantly, I want you to know that our little unit reports really make a difference in the larger picture. And you're going to learn that throughout the next hour and a half. Again, I'm going to just tell you, if you have any questions, I tend to talk fast because I got a lot of information, but ask questions and also jot it down on that evaluation sheet, and I will catch up with you later if I have to. My phone numbers are on there. My email is on there. Contact me. Okay? Page 1. You have a table of contents for this packet. And every single thing in this table of contents we are going to go over. So, page 2. Come right in and have a seat where there's some brochures and you'll be able to follow along. Okay? This is writing a committee report. Why even write a report? And a lot of people say, I don't like to write reports. Why do I have to do this? Okay? We, the American Legion Auxiliary, is a congressionally chartered organization. It requires us to submit a report to department each year. If we as a unit fail to do this, when you hand in your report to your district chairman on April 1st, you'll hear that date a lot, district then can't file a report. We have to send our reports, or district has to send their reports, up to department. Well, department's not getting the full picture if they don't have your report, okay? And they can't render a complete report to national, which in turn does not allow national to make a complete report to Congress. So there's a lot of steps up. So that little report translates to a huge impact, okay? Page 3. I want to give you a couple of ideas on how to compile your reports. And you may already have some ideas of your own. Feel free to use your ideas if they're already working for you. If you've never written a report, that's why I've included some of my ideas that have worked. 1, you have to appoint committee chairmen for for your committees. Okay? If you have a real small unit, you might not get committee chairman for all of these committees. And I understand that. But if you have a larger unit, you're going to want to try to get committee chairman. Okay? So each committee chairman should keep a small notebook. In that notebook, write down dates, write down events, write down the time, write down the money earned. Basically, any information to remember what you did. Another idea, at each unit meeting, the president could call, and if they don't do this, you might ask your unit president, if you're not one, to call for committee reports. And you can then report what your committee has done, and you can also learn what other committees have been doing in the past month that you hadn't met, okay? Take minutes. Your secretary can put those in the minutes to announce any activity. And also, is there anyone else out in the audience at your unit meeting that could possibly include something else? Oh, wait, I did that too. And those are more hours and more events. Okay? Jot it down. Another, I do this a lot, and if any of you want to join my Facebook page, I will gladly accept you as a friend. I post events, happenings on social media. And I do that because, for me, it gives me a timeline, it gives me documentation, it gives me pictures, and it reminds me of what I did, okay? I'm going to also show you, in all of these boards, you feel free to later come up and take pictures of anything you want. This is in your packet, but feel free to take pictures as well. What we also do at my unit is we take everything we put on Facebook, and we then make a notebook of it. And it's a wonderful, easy way to see what we did. And then when you go back and you write your reports, oh wait, and in parentheses, we will also put national security, education, children and youth. So then it focuses right in on who's the children and youth. Flip through this thing and find your words. And then you've got a report right here. And if you do it in good verbiage, you can just copy and paste that as part of your committee report, okay? And we'll talk again more about how to do that. Encourage people to get involved. Tell you what they've done at your meetings. It is amazing. And I say this all the time. We all do more than we think we do. And we don't report it, okay? Some people I've seen in unit meetings pass around a loose leaf notebook. And all they do is they write down what they've done. Easy, okay? Review your meeting minutes and your treasurer's reports, because that's where you're going to get your accurate information. It'll tell you exactly what you earned, what you spent, you know, money. And that money will also go into your report, okay? Review, now, I didn't change this, and some of this is going to say last year's dates because we just ran with it. This year, they're calling the program action plans, they're calling them program engagement plans. If you hear that, it's the same thing. A program action plan is a program engagement plan, okay? It's just different, it's the same thing, different terminology. But review your department program engagement plan. That will give you a whole bunch of objectives to accomplish during the year. And you'll find that on alafl.org, and we'll talk about that also later, because that's up here, and it'll be in your packet as well. The most important thing I can tell you is do not, I repeat, do not wait until the end of the year. Because if you wait till the end of the year to write these reports, I trust you will not remember. And it's just too hard for you, because if you can do it throughout the whole year, then when you go to compile it all, you've got it. Okay, page 4. Let's get into the report itself. Every report should have a cover page, all right? Basically, here's a sample cover page. At the top, you've got the American Legion Auxiliary emblem. Under that, the formal name of your unit, the number of your unit, the city, and Florida, okay? I am John F. Murphy, Unit 303, Bonita Springs, Florida. Below that, you have Department of Florida, you have to include that, your district, whatever district you come from, okay? And your membership group. And if you don't know what your membership group is, this is Dee Bell's book this year. The membership groups start on page 119 and they go through 123. And all you have to do is you can look up, you find your unit, it's in here, and it will tell you you're either group 1, group 2, group 6. They've got them all listed. Every unit is in this book, okay? If you don't have one of these books, flip through this before you leave, find your unit, and take a picture of your page, okay? Okay, the year of reporting. I accidentally put, I didn't change it. Year of reporting, it's going to say 2023, 2024. The committee name, whatever your committee is, any one of those committees goes in that blank, that parentheses, report. Now, if you are the chairman, your name goes below that. Jan Farrington, comma, chairman, okay? The name of your president, and that's your unit president. Now, you want to have your unit president sign your report, because technically she should be reading what you are saying. She may not change it because you've got your information, but she should know what you're writing, okay? And if there's something in there that's like, whoa, I don't ever remember doing that, she can check you, okay? The address of your post, city, Florida, zip code, okay? That's your template for your cover page. Okay, now, next page 5, there are a whole bunch of committees in the American Legion Auxiliary, okay? And again, that phrase, you probably do more than you know. What I have given you is every single committee that is on pages 5, 6, and 7. I'm sorry, 5 and 6. 5 and 6. Under each committee, I have given you guys examples of, some people will say to me, I don't know what committee this goes under, okay? And this gives you an idea. So for instance, Americanism, anything pertaining to the flag, your patriotic education, your patriotic holidays, your sponsoring debates. Sarah, what do you need, honey?
I was looking for a packet, I'm so sorry.
Can you get more packets? Thank you. Okay, they're behind this poster. Each one of these committees will give you suggestions on where you can put what goes in your report. Does that make sense? Okay, now I'm going to divert for just 1 minute, and I'm going to show you something. I bring this to our first, I bring this to unit meetings as we are planning our committee chairman. Easy to carry around. It's also this written out, but it's written out like this, okay? Can everybody see that? The reason why I write it out like this is because after I've taken this and we talk about all of these things, what do you mean? They're all boxes right below. Okay? Okay. I have my little trusty bag here of little gadgets that I have.
It doesn't look like a flamingo.
Huh?
I said it doesn't look like a flamingo.
Sort of does.
It's a dancy one. Okay, what I do when I'm assigning units to committees to people, I'll take a Post-it pen, okay? And I may say, Liz. Oh, Liz is like, man, I love Americanism, okay? I want to be the chairman for Americanism. I write Liz on this Post-it pad, okay? And I do that. Boom. One committee, we're done. We've assigned that committee, okay? Next committee. Who loves to talk about education? Oh my gosh, you're a teacher. Julie. Julie's going on education, right? Julie goes right there. And what we strive for in my unit is to get every single board filled, every single committee filled. It's an easy way, and then when you go home, if you're the president or whatever, you take this home, and you remember, your committee chairman, and now you have a list, and you can document. You've got people, and when you send up your committee chairman to department, you have them all right here. Does that make sense, everybody? And it's one way of doing it. You may do it a different way, but for me, that works for me. And it also tells us, who really likes. You don't want to put someone on a committee that they don't like, because if they don't like it, they're not going to do it. Okay? Make sure they like the committee they're assigned to. Okay? Okay. So each of these. Good morning. approach? Absolutely. I would be honored. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning. No gentlemen? That's what I was looking for when you said that.
I always scan the room.
Yep.
Welcome. And does everyone have their bells on?
I do.
Oh, look at that. Awesome. I'd like to thank you for your membership in our organization, and I'd like to welcome you to the 2023 Bells in Service Fall Conference. It gives me great pleasure, and I am honored to introduce to you our National President, Lisa Williamson.
Hello, everyone. How are you? How are you? I recognize some faces here, and I am so thankful to be here. I really am thrilled to be in the Sunshine State. Thank you. Thank you for that. But it looks like it's going to clear up about 5-ish, so let's hope so. I'd like to see a little bit of sun, even if it's walking across from the hotel in the parking lot tomorrow. I thank you all for everything that you do. I may be wearing this title this year as National President, but that goes away in 10 months. And I'm still always have been a first and foremost unit member, and I think that everybody here is. So to me, titles, while it means something, it's all about the mission. It's not about me, it's not about Dee, it's not about you, it's not about Dara. It's about the mission of helping our veterans and our military. And I firmly believe that. As well, I believe in the Legion family. Both my son and daughter were raised in this organization. Actually, I worked at our department headquarters for the Legion when I was, and was blessed to have my son while I was working there. So he grew up in this organization, and then 18 years later, he took his oath of enlistment. So I am honored to use his service in our military as one of my eligibility people. So I also met my wonderful husband in this organization, so we're all about the family. And just really quickly to conclude, our national commander for Legion, National Sons of the American Legion commander, who I believe is going to be here this afternoon, and I are all working together as a family for one big, serious subject, and that's military and veteran suicide. So I've embraced Be the One, and I'll finish with that. I hope you all will help us promote Be the One to save them. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'll have pins later today at a meet and greet, okay? Actually, I wanted to leave this behind, if you don't mind. Oh, thank you. Oh, God. Yes, I know. Oops, you've got that filter that takes 20 pounds
I
off.
do.
It makes you thin and pretty. Because I've gained a little bit of weight in 2 months. Thank you very much, you all, and come up and talk to me anytime. I'm just regular people. Thank you. From Alaska. I'm sorry? I don't know. In my room? I did not have flowers tonight. Okay. I did get a wonderful gift basket. But no flowers. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, yes, I was going to say something. Your book that you do your Facebook stuff too?
Yes.
That's a great history book as well.
Absolutely. We use it, and we use that as we send that in. Exactly.
And I'm going to use that in my meeting later and mention you guys because that's awesome.
Cool. The other thing I do want to just tell you real quickly, under education, if you want to add this on, anyone who's doing Operation Homefront, if you you can list Operation Homefront under education if you are delivering to schools, okay? That's another one. And also, I did not put on here, even though I put it on here, is chaplain. And not everybody, the chaplain does have a program plan of action, but some people don't write a report. We always do write a report because they want to know how many get well cards and sympathy cards, etc. Okay, so Now you have figured out where a lot of these things go, okay? We got to start writing the report. What I have given you on page 7 and 8, and if everyone in the whole state uses these exact same starting sentences, that's okay. Every single committee has a beginning sentence, all right? So the purpose of, and every single committee is listed, the purpose of the Americanism program is to promote patriotism and responsible citizenship. Moving down, the purpose of the Leadership Committee is to promote activities and resources that mentor members of all ages in our ALA. So every single committee here, you now have the beginning sentence for your report, okay? As a teacher, I always teach, you have to have a thesis statement, you've got to have points underneath, and you have to have a concluding sentence or paragraph. That's your thesis statement, okay? Page, and all of those, you understand what that means, correct? Okay. Page 9, now we're going to actually start writing the actual report, okay? First of all, you have to create a title. So, example, Unit 303, end of the year, that should say 23-24, Americanism Report, Chairman, your name. Okay? That's the title of your report. You put that up at the top. You begin with the opening sentence, the opening purpose of your program. So refer to those starting sentences we just did, correct? Everyone on the same page with me so far? Okay. If you want, from then on, to bullet those events, you can bullet. Okay, be aware that it counts as a report. It's documentation. And I even give examples. Like this will help your district chairmen to compile data. If you use, is that bothering you guys? Okay. If you use bullets, I want you to understand you won't qualify to win an award at DCC, okay? Because they want a narrative. But the bright side is we have your documentation necessary to compile your data. So here's an example. Education. Bullet point. Okay, celebrated Teacher Appreciation Week in May. Bullet. Took donuts and fruits to local schools, $25 in 3 hours. Bullet. Provided school supplies to the elementary schools, $75. Sold cookies to raise money for scholarship money. Raised $137. All I did was just bullet all of those things, okay? They all relate to education. They're all documentation. They're data, okay? And we can then put that in our data in our district reports, which go up the ladder. Okay, on the other hand, if you take all those bulleted events, now you can create a story. And all it is just putting words in. In May, we celebrated Teacher Appreciation Day by hand-delivering fruit and chocolate to all the elementary schools in our area. 4 auxiliary members visited our schools, provided school supplies to our teachers. Our unit spent $75 to aid our teachers. Yes?
I have a question. Maybe Dara can help out with this. When I wrote the historian report, we were told that we were not to use any third person.
Can I tell you something? When you go to the historian workshop, they're going to talk about that. You're right.
Okay,
this is purely for writing reports. This has got nothing to do with writing the historian book.
Oh, I know.
But you are correct.
About
You are
the
not
third
supposed to
person.
do that when you're
Okay.
writing your report.
Okay.
That's a different report.
Okay.
Okay, that's like an award. What do they call that?
The narrative
Yeah.
for the historian book,
Yeah.
the written history is what they. But I think what her question is do the reports need to be written in third person? Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yes, you put them as we, our unit, Unit 303. Nothing is, I did this and I did that.
Right.
Not,
Okay.
Thank you. I'm sorry. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, don't use third person. Exactly. Okay. From there on, page 10, All you have to do now is just continue to add to your report with any monthly happenings you or anyone is performing that relates to your committee, okay? When it's time, okay, now it's almost April 1st, okay? We gotta wrap up the year. So when it's time to turn in your end of the year report, you're going to have a concluding sentence. And I gave you an example, and you can use this concluding sentence in every single report you've got, basically. Our goal this year was to continue good relationships in our community, just related to education, related to Americanism. We feel we were highly successful and will continue working at what we're doing. I've put in some of my reports. Our goal this year was to continue good relationships, or to do more with Americanism. We feel we weren't as successful as we would like to be, you know, and that's okay. Be honest, it doesn't matter. We're not superhuman here, and you're not gonna give 20 pages on each report. That's not gonna happen, okay? Report what you can, and be honest. If you didn't do it, you didn't do it. But report you didn't do it. That's documentation as well. That's data, okay? End your report with a closing phrase. It could be for God and country, respectfully, you know, don't put love and kisses, okay? Don't do that, okay? And remember, every single thing you do has value. All your volunteer hours. That's the goal of this report. It's the goal of this report. That includes pre and post. Every event takes preparation, legwork, travel time. From the time you leave home to the time you come back home, those hours count. Be sure to include them in your report, and we're asked to on the action plan, okay? Now, just so you remember, every volunteer hour is $31.80. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to get paid. Wow, I did 100 hours. I'm going to, yahoo, I'm getting a $3,000 paycheck. No, no, no. But that money goes up the ladder, and that's the money that translates to Congress, okay? So make sure that you report your hours, because they're important, and they're expensive, okay? How much was that again, Jen? $31.80 is for volunteer hour. One volunteer hour equates to $31.80. Okay, what I want you to remember throughout the whole process is on page 12. Every committee has a district chairman. If you have questions throughout the year, call those people. Don't be afraid. We have all been hired, well, not hired as a volunteer, to help you, okay? Attend your district meetings. Attend your schools of instruction, your ABC schools, okay? Get to know these people, because they are a valuable resource. Also, the American Legion Department of Florida, that is probably my best friend. www.alafl.org. It is an incredible tool. I've been working at this now for almost 4 years, and I'm still learning stuff on that. Every day it's like, oh my God, I didn't know that, I didn't know that. And you can't mess up. If you mess up, just log out of, not even log out of it, exit out and go back in again, okay? You learn so much on that site. I also included the National Auxiliary website for you, which is another great tool. And most importantly, and this is really key, when you're writing your reports, try to do it with other auxiliary members, okay? Make it fun, make it rewarding. It's, because sometimes you get to the point where it's like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. Get other people in, you know, do it at, you know, around when you're eating, you know, snacks and stuff. You know, I would lay off on the wine maybe a little bit until you're done. But
last year, that's what our unit did.
Yeah,
We had a dinner and we all got together and
it
did our
made it
reports
fun.
and we had-
Exactly,
right.
absolutely.
We did better that year than we ever did.
And it's amazing how you learn. Oh my God, you guys, we do so much, and it makes you feel proud. Okay, again, let's keep going. Page 13. I've given you another little tool that has worked, and a number of people have written me back and said, wow, this is really cool. You put your auxiliary unit up on top, your activity, whoever chaired it, and the committee. Explain if it's an auxiliary event. Because you may be working at an SAL event, you may be working at a Legion event, and if it's an auxiliary event, yes. If it's no, then auxiliary assisted another family's event. And we all do that. You know that. You help the SAL serve dinner. You help the Legion with your 50-50. Those are things you're helping with. And put what it was. If it's all families, put it down as an all family. If it's a full post event, use that spot. Date of the event, where it took place, how many volunteers were in attendance, your hours, how much money was spent for it, your in-kind donations, how many people total came, refreshments. And again, is this a little detailed? It is. Do you have to fill out that whole thing every single time? No. But it's a tool you can use. And most importantly, I will emphasize all the time, most of us have phones now that have cameras. Take pictures. Because it's amazing when you go back and you think, oh, I didn't even know that person was there. Okay? And it really helps you to find out how many people actually attended. Okay? Also, make sure your historian always gets your stuff, because that will help that member write their report. And any additional information that will help the historian is annual documentation. Okay? Any questions on this? Okay.
Ma'am,
Yes.
the in-kind donations, that's just that people have, like, if we bring something to an event
Yes.
and it's for all families, then that would be considered in-kind. I
If-
mean, does it have to be can it be just estimated? Because if you do a lot of these things.
In-kind donations, basically, if you're donating to something, to a product or something, that's in kind, okay? If you are giving a check for something, that's in kind, okay? That
So it can be
makes,
cash or money.
absolutely, yes, okay? Now, one thing, I want to now go back to these, I gotta get, is this yours? No. Oh, okay. What I want to now talk about is the program plan of action. Okay? When you go to, and that is page 11, all right? When you go to the program, it's called the program engagement plan, okay? Again, I actually tried this out with my husband. I said, look, I'm just gonna ask you, go through these steps for me. I'm not gonna help you whatsoever, and tell me where you get to. And if he can do this, anybody can do this, okay? Don't tell him I said that, but this works, okay? Go to alafl.org. Click on programs. Programs is gonna be that top bar in the red. Click on your specific program you're looking for. And that will be, any one of these programs will be all listed down below. If you have been on that before, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, do that sometime and you'll see, oh my gosh, they're all here, okay? Under the chairman's picture, and every committee has the picture of the chairman for the department, okay? Click on the 23-24 program action plan, okay? Print that document. Because included in that document is the information you're gonna need for your year-end report. And those are due dates, those are specific questions that they may ask. As an example, did your unit have a special meeting or event recognizing Children and Youth Month, if you're children and youth, okay? How did your unit support, assist, recognize, donating to militaries of kids? So it gives specific questions that only relate to that program, okay? And that also will help you know what to put in your report, okay? So if you can answer all those questions and include that in your narrative, you've got a fully complete report. Okay? So make sure you answer the questions. And I'll be honest with you, I've gone to some of these program action plans when I've been engagement plans, when I've been filling them out for people and helping other committees, and I'll look at this and say, we didn't do that. We didn't do that either. We didn't do this either. Wait, we didn't do a lot of this. Oh, wait, we did one of these things. However, we did all this stuff. It's not on them. That's why at the bottom it says include a narrative. Because what's not there doesn't mean what you did isn't worthy. It just means that you didn't do some of the stuff they're recommending. Does that make sense? Yes.
Even in my narrative, even if I didn't do it, I'd write a short line on this particular question, just saying, we were not able to complete this thing.
Right.
That way you did hit every single bullet point in that action plan in
Absolutely.
your narrative.
And you're going to include that action plan in your, when you've got your cover sheet, you've got your program plan of action, and you've got your narrative. So when we flip through those, we're going to see that she didn't do any of this stuff. I'm going to look at the narrative and say, oh, she didn't do it, but she did all of this stuff. Okay? And then it doesn't make you feel like, I did all this work and nothing that didn't matter. Not at all. Okay? That is just a guide to help you. If you just say, I don't know what the heck to do when I'm doing national security, that's a guide to help you. And if you look at that guide now, way before April 1st, you can say, hey, you guys, we can do Operation Homefront. Hey, we can do, beads for education. We can do, any of these other things that might be on there. Girls' Day. Hey, we can even, let's sponsor some girls for Girls' Day. Okay? Have I lost anybody yet? Perfect. Okay. So I told you, you've got to print that committee year end. The other thing I want to emphasize, when you print it, print the unit the unit committee report. Don't print the district one. There's one that says end of the year unit report. There's another one that says end of the year district report. Click the unit one, okay? Because you're writing it as a unit, all right? Again, I want to remind you that year-end reports are due April 1st, okay? Great news, there's no more mid-year reporting, okay? We don't do mid-year reports anymore. Department wants shout-outs if you want with a synopsis every once in a while, and we as district presidents had to write a mid-year report and gave you guys shout-outs on what you're doing in that unit, in that district mid-year report. You don't have to do those. However, I really urge you to don't get lazy. Oh, I don't have to do a mid-year report. Good, I'm good till April. Keep documenting, because trust me, I can't remember what I had for breakfast. You're not going to remember what you did 2 weeks ago. And you did a lot, okay? Things to remember throughout this whole process. Every committee has a district chairman, okay? Oh, I already did this. If you've got those questions, ask them, okay? We did that page. I skipped that program page. Okay, so given this, I'm at the end of how to write the actual report. So, again, here's your program action plan, okay? Every report includes your cover worksheet, okay? Use your guide. Here's your group numbers, okay? It starts from the unit, it goes all the way up to Washington. Now I'm going to switch for a minute, and I'm going to go to the impact report, all right? So go to the other packet where it says how and why to complete the year-end impact reports.
Make sure everybody's got one, because
Okay.
some people, this is what we're missing.
Does everybody-
have the second, the smaller one?
Julie, did you find all the others?
Yes.
You had printed them, I think. Everyone have one? Okay. And again, I just want to ask this, because when are we getting out of here? When does this end? Oh, beautiful, okay, good, I got 45 minutes, okay. Before I move on to the impact report, does anyone have any questions on how to write the committee report? Yes,
I just have one question on the volunteer hours.
yes.
In our post, all of the bartenders are volunteers. Do their hours, because there's a lot of auxiliary members, do their hours count toward something with all the families? Where
As
would
they're
I fit
working
that?
in the bar?
Yes.
No,
Okay.
no. Unfortunately not, no. Because the only service that they're really doing is handing out booze, or pizza, little pizzas.
And talking to the old vets that are there.
And that is, it's beautiful, but no, it wouldn't
Okay.
count that at
Thank
that
you so
time.
much.
Yeah,
Thank you.
no. Okay, yes.
Real quick, do the committee reports, do they like pictures to be included or not really? I mean,
I've gotten both. So if you want to add pictures, it's absolutely fine. Yes, fine. If you are PR, if you are the PR chairman for your unit, you want pictures. Historian, you could definitely include pictures as part of your narrative. And actually, now that I think about that, education, when all the people always visited schools, I got pictures of all of those things. Yes, so yes, I would say include pictures if you want to anything, correct. Okay, now it's gonna get a little tricky, all right? Because now you're saying to yourself, wait, I just did this whole committee report, what are you talking to me now about an impact report, okay? As you know, first page, every hour and dollar we invest in our mission adds up. These small numbers get added into the collective numbers that are called impact numbers. These numbers really show our impact of service to veterans, active duty, reserve, military families, youth, and communities, while making our membership meaningful. Now, even though these committee reports are more for the unit and what you have done as a unit, this is more what you have done as a collective whole for veterans, okay? The forms you need to fill out and complete has been condensed to essential information, okay? And on the impact report, there's really only 4 spots that you have to emphasize and focus on. Even if you aren't sure, what they always ask you is to give an estimate versus not reporting at all. So each member, technically they would love to have every member fill out a member monthly annual tracking worksheet form. I have included that. This can be a little tough sometimes because some members just don't want to do this. And sometimes we appoint one person and we just say, everyone come to that person, give us your hours, and we'll tally them. You do whatever works for you and your people, okay? When you're tracking their volunteer hours. The annual numbers on the tracking worksheet form can be transferred to the member year-end impact number report. So you give this form to your unit president at the end of the year. And then the unit president or the designee, and she might give this to someone else to do, compiles that data onto what is called the unit impact report. Okay, and if right now you're saying, I have no idea what the heck you're talking about, when you see the samples, I hope you'll understand this. Okay, so the worksheets are downloadable. You also have got some, if you want to take them home, don't write on them yet, and then you can make a whole bunch of copies if you want, okay? But they are found on the national website. Our unit reports go up a ladder to department and then on to national. Impact reports go a different way. You have your unit impact report. Oh, that says TIMPACT report. It's an impact report.
Well, there's no space between you and I.
Okay. And then, yes, yeah. And then that goes to the district. The district fills out an impact report. They get sent up to department. Department sends it up to national. National then sends this impact report. It doesn't stay in the auxiliary. It goes to the American Legion National. And that's really important because then that goes to Washington and gets put into the annual report to Congress. And when you hear on the news things like, budgeting for veterans, helping veterans through various programs, this is one of those programs, okay? So we all are helping that program for veterans, and that's what we're here for, okay? That translates to money for veterans, and it also proves why we're tax exempt, because we're doing all of this as a tax exempt organization, yes.
So after you've done the committee report, everything that's on the committee report that falls into this,
Absolutely, and that's, when you come to the next page, you also want to remember to report your dollars and your hours, because that adds up to a big grand total, okay? It's important you report the information in one section. Rather worry if you have selected the correct category. Some of the categories overlap. And I'm going to just say this, I'm going to go back to the committee reports for a minute, and I'm going to give you a perfect example, okay? I went to a school, I'm just using this hypothetical. I went to a school the other day, and I dropped off a fruit basket for the teachers. But then I met in a classroom, and I taught a class on patriotism and flag etiquette and being kind, okay? And then on my way out, I helped pick up garbage all around the school. I mean, I'm such a multitasker, right? Okay, where do I report all that? You can report that under education. You can report that under children and youth. You can report that under patriotism. You can report that under community service. Okay? The key is you can't, what I call, double dip. You can report it in every single committee. Okay? The Americanism one, flag etiquette, that would only go in Americanism. But if I'm teaching a class to kids and and I'm helping the teacher, that can be education, but that's also children and youth. So I can put that in both categories, right? I can split the hours, or I can give all of the hours to education. But if I give all of the hours to education, I can't give any of those hours to the other one. You can't do, I did 4 hours here, and I did 4 hours here. You didn't, because you only did 4 hours. So it goes in either one, or it can go 2 and 2. You can divvy it up, but just keep it all whatever actual hours you used. Did I totally confuse you, or does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Perfect. Okay, so going back to the impact report, it's with your question, it's very similar. So a lot of what you've already done in these committee reports is also being translated to what's called this impact report. And there's 4 categories, okay? Here we have 17 committees, 18 committees, however many committees, okay? Here, there's 4 branches. The first is your ALA service for veterans, active duty, reserve military. And I put examples in there for you. So for instance, I watch on Facebook all of the units all of the time. How many of you are shopping, preparing, and packaging up for deployed troops? Tons of you do that. Absolutely. That would go in 1. A military send-off. I know many of you in here have gone on honor flights. I know that already. I'm looking at some people I know who have been on an honor flight. That would go here. Parades. We just had a Veterans Parade. We just had a Memorial Day Parade. We had Veterans Day. That goes there. Okay? If you recorded a veteran's history, if you raised money for a veterans, I just put Creative Arts Festival, but something for veterans. Okay? Fundraising events that anything that benefits a veteran. Okay? Hiring fairs, advocating for your legislation, that goes under that category. So I've given you lots of examples, okay? 2, Difference now. Where this was veterans and active duty, number 2 is only for military families. So, you may have been involved in a family support group. You may have adopted a military family project, and there are those projects out there. You attended a military spouse hiring fair. You delivered hero packs, so you delivered, you know, a whole big Thanksgiving basket to a military family. That goes there, okay? You distributed Blue Star banners, G.I. Josh dog tags, okay? So there's lots of ideas, but again, it's anything, if it's helping a military family, it goes in number 2. The same with number 3, if it's helping the youth, and just the youth. Juniors activities, classroom and patriotic activities for children, camps that are open to all children, raising funds that promote the Legion family activities. Girls State can go there, okay? And the last, and they say if you don't know where to put it in 4, okay? Because that represents the ALA in your community. That's everything from your blood drives, your walks, your runs, your food pantries, okay? So, that is, don't make this any harder than it is. There's the breakdown. I've given you on the next page some specific, you know, question and answers. Oh, where do I report my National Guard Welcome Home activity, okay? Where do I report volunteer services? These are just a couple of other examples of where I would put this. Again, if you don't know where the heck to put it, I have 2 suggestions. Put it in 4, or call me, and I can tell you where to put it, okay? And seriously, and I mean that, my phone number's on that front, call me, and I'll walk you through it, all right? On the next page, you should have kind of like what looks like a tracking worksheet. And that literally goes from April to all the way through March. And it goes the whole year, okay? And the year you would put 2023-24. And in April, wherever you volunteered, and there's 2 pages, because it gives you those specific 4 categories. So it gives you, if you did any volunteer for the active duty, service, military. In the next section, if you did military families. The next page, you worked with youth. The next page, you did in my community. And I will tell you, last year, I represent District 13, and we had Hurricane Ian, okay? And we were decimated. And some of our towns wiped off the face of the earth, is what the news press reported. And we were wiped, Fort Myers Beach was wiped off the face of the earth. We recorded in District 13 last year, over 75,000 community hours on our impact sheet. So it makes a huge difference, okay? This year, fortunately, hopefully, it's not November 30th yet, we're not gonna have another hurricane, okay? But we've had some crazy weather, okay? And people once said to me, oh, I see, so this is an impact report because this relates to weather. No. This can relate to all of these services, but weather is a huge impact on these reports. Because we all are out in the community helping, and that's what we do. We volunteer, all right? And we want our hard work to be, you know, paid off. So that's your member tally sheet. And again, that's something, if you want to just have one person in your auxiliary to take that on and say, come on, tell me what you did. Give one of these each to your members. You may say to yourself, I got members, they're not there. They're not going to do this. Talk to them then and get them to tell you what they've done, and you can fill in where it goes. Because you always have those members that say, I'm not going to write a report, and I'm not going to do this. But They're doing a lot of stuff. And use them in whatever good way they can. I mean, we have a couple of members in my unit, they don't want to ever leave their house. But they do so much. They do a lot of our PR. They do a lot of phone calling. They talk to congressmen. They do it in their home. My gosh, we count those hours. Okay? Use your people in any way you can. Yes.
We started a Hooked on Veterans group, and what that is we do crochet, and we do lap dance and shawls for our veterans. So can they count all of the hours that they do with that? And it should be okay.
Does everyone hear that? Yeah, if you're knitting, if you're making quilts, little stockings, any of those things, absolutely. That could go for military children. That could go for, that could go for any of those groups. Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
I'm on the honor guard, and we do the military services, some for the homeless vets and the regular vets, and we drive down to Bushnell in different locations. Where would you put that information? Is that invisible?
Oh, yes. Yeah. That would be, I would put that under, okay, so they're veterans, they're not active.
No,
They're
veterans.
I would put that under the veterans part then, yes. And in your committee reports, you could definitely put that under your VA and R as well, because that is any service that enhances the life of a veteran, and you are trying to enhance their life.
Under one? Under one? She was asking under one.
Oh, under what number? Yeah, I would put that under number one. Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. Because that's Marines, not Marines, veterans, whether it's active or not. Yes. Yes.
The question, sorry. Okay, we do Wreaths Across America, and so we work with the Legion, and we change their flags on their grave sites.
Yes.
Where would that go?
I would still be a veteran.
I think that would go under VA and R. Yes. And I'm also, I want to just hold on 1 minute, because there's another thing I'm also thinking of, and that could be, I want to look at national security. Because national security is active duty in uniform. Oh no, this Reads Across America, that's on the cemetery. VA, I'm sorry. Yeah. You know what I'm thinking is that we have active military that help us put the reeds together and put the markers on, so that's a different thing. Yeah, that's VA and R, absolutely. Yeah. Yes.
We have a lady in our auxiliary, and she has taken on this challenge. I admire this lady. She collects the plastic bags. You know how many we collect? We just keep collecting them, but we can't recycle. So she gets all those bags, she cuts them, she crochets them, and she makes mats for the homeless.
Did you put that on Facebook? I saw that on Facebook. I loved that. Yes.
Oh, where would I report that?
And what is she doing with those mats?
She's taking them down wherever they're veterans and others. She makes sleeping bags. She makes.
I put that under
all
a couple of
kinds
different things. You could put it under VA and R. That's also huge community service.
That's what
I would go
thinking.
I would personally go more community service.
But we do a
on
lot
that.
of community service. I mean, like with our parties for the kids, but getting out.
And that can also go under children and youth.
Good.
Yeah, for your kids, that could go under children and youth.
But yeah, she makes blankets and she makes.
You could
But they're all
divvy that
plastic
up.
bags.
Divvy that up under your children and youth, VA and R, community service, absolutely.
That makes a good shower bag.
Oh, we have a.
Because I made a pouch for a shower bag,
wait,
and I just put a thing to tie it around, this way they can put all their toiletries in it.
Yeah, we also collect medicine bottles, and we send them over to Brightbridge Ministry, and they take them and they put shampoo,
Beautiful.
all that stuff, and
If
they're like a homeless shelter.
If that enhances the life of a veteran, always consider VA an hour, because that's a hard thing to fill up, even though that's what our mission is. Yes?
Oh, no, she was asking a question about where to send bags, and I
Yeah,
said,
where can we send you our bags?
you would.
Oh, God.
We are in Pensacola, Florida.
We have in our area a retirement trailer, community that's what they do. They collect through the community. That Walmart set up a big thing to put their bags in, and we have donated. They bring them to us, and we are the ones that give them to. We have a couple of homeless shelters or churches that have stuff that we give, so they can give them out. We've gone out, not us personally, but our we've had our Legionnaires go out into where we know there are homeless camps, and have literally, as they overlap, give them these incredible mats that you would never know are just plastic. But the idea is that they just give them that cushion between the cold ground. And
because it's plastic, it's waterproof.
Right.
Exactly. That's brilliant. Brilliant. Any other questions? I try to go through this as quickly as possible. I would love you to go home and digest what's in this packet, reread it. If you've got questions, call me, email me. I will respond. Do you have any specific questions, like people were saying? Where would this go? Where would that go? Yes.
I have a statement.
Yes.
My statement is, last year, I've been in the auxiliary since 2005, and last year I got a copy of this and I used it, and it made all the difference in the world. You're getting it now, and about come January, if you haven't started writing everything already, you're going to wish you had, and you're going to really wish that you follow this sheet 100%, because when it comes to what is Americanism, it is, and everything else that Jan has put in this document, it's been a tremendous help.
Thank you. I'll pay you later.
I agree.
Thank you. And you guys, I do this out of pure love, because one, I love teaching, I love educating, but more importantly, I think that this is really important, and it's not about me, it is about us. And if this will help you, feel free to use this, feel free to share this, feel free to make copies of this, feel free to take this back to your units. I have been known to actually FaceTime a couple of unit meetings, and just people have asked questions. What about this? What about that? If you do that round robin where you have all of the family, all of the committees working together, you have a question. I am very, very, very dedicated to this, and it's a lot of information. But go home, digest it again, and hopefully it'll really make a difference for you. I pray that does that for you. Any other questions? Yes.
You said something about the unit president needed to sign on the front page. Where exactly? Like anywhere on the page?
No, it says down. It says on there, unit president at the bottom. There's a line.
Name your president.
Yeah. On that, it says name of your president. She'd sign above that.
Okay.
And that's why I put the line, so that's where she would put her signature. And the name for the chairman goes above that. Okay. Does everyone know what group they're in? Yeah. I don't know your numbers, because your numbers have fluctuated a lot because of your situation.
We were in 5, but then last year I was told I was in 6.
I believe you went to 6, but I also
don't know anymore.
I'm not sure right now you're in group 5. This book, you're in 5.
Okay.
So go with 5.
All right.
Because you've got a crazy situation going there. Does anyone want to know their group? Approximately how many members do you have? 170? Okay, so you're probably going to be, and what was your number again?
382.
382. 382, hold on a second. Huh, wait a minute. It'd be so nice if they put these in numerical order, but no.
So it's in the
382, you are in group 3. And how do you, is that Navarre? Okay, yeah. Anybody else?
240.
What, about how many people do you have?
Well, 254.
Okay, and what is it, 240?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
You are in, I think you're actually group 4, but let me, yeah, you're Pensacola, group 4.
I don't believe 46 is in the book.
Huh?
I don't believe 46 is in that book, unit 46.
What, about how many are in there, Christine?
Under 100.
Under 100? And it's group 46, did you say?
Unit 46.
Unit 46 Tarpon Springs? It's in there and you're group 1.
I don't think it's in there under the quotas.
Quotas, oh, you're in here for the group for, on your cover page? Quotas, let me tell you, district what?
16.
Oh yeah, I should know that, I'm challenged. District 16,
You got that challenge going.
I know. Is that a brand new auxiliary? That's why, because Babcock Branch is in it.
I was gonna say that.
Yes,
Unit 57, Lake City.
about how many?
233.
You guys, hold on one second, how many?
233.
233, you're gonna probably be group 4 maybe, but let me look. 230, 230? Wait, 233 is that, bed, how do you say that?
No, we're
Pata?
unit 57.
Huh, say?
Unit
57.
57.
Oh, I'm sorry, jeez, I'm hearing all sorts of crazy.
Population
I don't know where the hell I got that.
33.
Okay, wait, 57?
Yeah.
Lake City?
Lake City, you are group 4. Okay. The other thing, if you want to come up and take any pictures, feel free to. If you want to look through this Facebook page that we compiled, this is our historian index. Feel free to look at that. And well, we do so much more. Enjoy your day. We've still got about 20 minutes till this gets over, and thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh! Well, thank you for coming.